Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtiprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, text number 33 onwards. So Lord Kapil Dev is further speaking to his mother, Devhuti. Yathendriya prithagdvare artho bahu gunashreya eko naneyate tadvat Bhagwaan Shastra Vartamabhi. A single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. It appears that by following the path of Jnana Yoga or empiric philosophical speculation, one reaches the impersonal Brahman. Whereas by executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness, one enriches his faith in and devotion to the personality of Godhead. But it is stated here that both Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga are meant for reaching the same destination, the personality of Godhead. By the process of Jnana Yoga, the same personality of Godhead appears to be impersonal, as the same object appears to be different when perceived by different senses. The same Supreme Lord appears to be impersonal by mental speculation. So same Supreme Lord, same object, because our senses are different. Senses are different, or the consciousness is different, mental state is different, our sanskaras are different, so it appears differently. Even same path of Bhakti Yoga, like if I approach the deities, it'll be much different from if Srila Prabhupada is approaching the same deities. He will look at the same deities in the Bhakti Yoga process. He will look at them differently. And I will look at them maybe just piece of rock. I will not have any interpersonal relationship with the deities. But Prabhupada, if he is there and he is looking at the deities and he is speaking with the deities, there's different consciousness, different level of relationship. Now, what to speak of a person who thinks that Supreme Personality of God is impersonal? So even if he looks at the deities, he will think these are just material manifestation, or representation, or the handiwork of the sculptor. It's not real. It's not original. See how the consciousness makes us look at things differently. And Prabhupada gives the example of a hill appears cloudy from a distance, and one who does not know may speculate that the hill is a cloud. Actually, it's not a cloud, it's a big hill. One has to learn from the authority that the sight of a cloud is not actually a cloud, but a hill. If one makes a little more progress, then instead of cloud, he sees the hill and something green. When one actually approaches the hill, he will see many varieties. Another example is in perceiving milk. When we see milk, we see that it is white. When you taste it, it appears that milk is very palatable. When we touch milk, it appears very cold. When we smell milk, it appears to have a very good flavor. And when we hear, we understand that it is called milk. Perceiving milk with different senses, we say that it is something white, something very delicious, something very aromatic, and so on. Actually, it is milk. Similarly, those who are trying to find the Supreme Godhead by mental speculation may approach the bodily effulgence or the impersonal Brahman. And those who are trying to find the Supreme Godhead by yoga practice may find him as a localized supersoul. But those who are directly trying to approach the supreme truth by practice of Bhakti Yoga can see him face to face as a supreme person. Now it depends upon how we want to perceive. Prabhupada gives the example of hill, that from a distance, the hill might look like a cloud. And then a person who wants to just remain from that perspective, he will think hill is a cloud. Hill looks like a cloud. If somebody goes closer, he will see, no, it's not a cloud, it is a hill. It has some shape and green looking shape. Or behind me, it's a Govardhan hill, and somebody looks at it from a distance, he'll see it's just some vague thing. Somebody comes closer, he will see, oh, it has some rocks and some trees. Somebody who comes even closer, really close, he will see, oh, there are some peacocks, there are some monkeys on it, and there are some trees, some rocks, some different things. And actually, if we look at the description of Govardhan Hill from scriptures, that says it has many caves, many waterfalls, many lakes. We don't see it because Govardhan, first of all, it's not depicting his whole size because of absence or because of separation from Krishna. And at the same time, we don't have those eyes, first of all, to see the real picture of Govardhan Hill. But just seeing it as a material hill, if one comes closer, he will see there's so many varieties. Cows are there, peacocks, and monkeys are jumping around, and so many caves are there, little caves we can see. But that's about it. So it depends how close we get. And I had once given an example of a train also. From a distance, it will look like something with a headlight. When it comes closer, oh, it has a headlight, it has an engine, and it has many bogies. And when it comes really closer to the platform, and it stands at the platform, then we see it has the engine, the different compartments, and in compartments there are berths, people are sitting on it, somebody is sleeping. There's so many varieties, so much of varieties there. So it depends upon a person with what consciousness he approaches the train or the hill or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then even if, like Prabhupada gives the example of milk. So milk, somebody smells it. Oh, it's very nice. But just because it smells nice, it doesn't mean it is milk. If somebody in a pot gives me milk, somebody comes and smells it by his sense perception of smelling. Somebody touches it by his sense perception of touch. Somebody just looks at it, or it's white. Somebody tastes it, so it's very delicious. And so on and so forth. But that doesn't explain what that element is. So when somebody tells the person, oh, this is called milk, then they would understand, oh, this is milk. This is how milk tastes like, looks like, smells like. So that person who gives the knowledge that this is milk, otherwise everybody else is speculating. And the person who gives the right knowledge, that is Guru. And he heard it from his Guru. He did not make it up. So that is the disciplic succession, and that's the right way of approaching. Otherwise, by a mental speculation, we can keep on speculating. This element is white in color, okay, but everything white in color is not milk. Ultimately, the Supreme Person is a destination of all different processes. The fortunate person who, by following the principles of scriptures, becomes completely purified of all material contamination, surrenders unto the Supreme Lord as everything. Just as one can appreciate the real taste of milk with the tongue and not with the eyes, nostril, or ears, one can similarly appreciate the absolute truth perfectly and with all relishable pleasure only through one path, devotional service. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. If one wants to understand the absolute truth in perfection, he must take to devotional service. Of course, no one can understand the absolute truth in all perfection. That is not possible for the infinitesimal living entities. But the highest point of understanding by the living entity is reached by the discharge of devotional service, not otherwise. And Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, those who approach me properly, I give them the understanding by which they come to me. So to know Krishna is to first to please him, and after pleasing him, we have to have his mercy to be able to understand him to the extent he wants us to understand him. Nobody can understand him completely. Even he himself does not understand himself completely. That's an inconceivable portion of Krishna. Just like example is given in Dwarka, Krishna was in one of the palaces and he saw himself, his own reflection in the emeralds and diamonds studded on the column of the palace. He is seeing himself and he is thinking, oh, who is this such a beautiful person? And then he started thinking, because he is always thinking of Radharani, then he started thinking, what kind of pleasure she receives by looking at me, and by what kind of feelings she has, by what kind of feelings she looks at me, and what kind of pleasure she feels by looking at me, and what's the love in the innermost heart of Srimati Radharani for me. So even he doesn't know himself completely. In the sense that he wants to see himself through the eyes or through the heart of his beloved. Because a beloved sees a person differently than the person himself when he looks at himself. Because of that ointment of love. Just like, just a material example, a boy or a baby might be very ugly in the eyes of the whole world, but the same baby will be very beautiful in the eyes of his mother. Because mother looks at him as a part of her own body, with the love, with the caring nature. A mother looks, oh, my boy or my girl is the best looking and best behaved. And who knows, maybe that boy or girl is worse, behaves worsely with everybody in the street or in the neighborhood or in the school. But when it comes to mother looks at him or her completely differently. So similarly, how can we even imagine with what feelings and with what love Srimati Radharani looks at Krishna? We can't imagine. Even Krishna could not understand. Krishna could not imagine that. So even he doesn't know himself completely. By following various scriptural paths, one may come to the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental pleasure derived from merging with or understanding the impersonal Brahman is very extensive, because Brahman is Ananda. Tad Brahman Nishkalam Anantam. Brahmananda is unlimited. But that unlimited pleasure can also be surpassed. That is the nature of the transcendence, because there is no limit on anything. The unlimited can be surpassed also, and that higher platform is Krishna. When one deals directly with Krishna, the mellow and the humor relished by reciprocation of devotional service is incomparable, even with the pleasure derived from transcendental Brahman. So the mellow, the humor, the taste of dealing with Krishna, it's incomparable. And the impersonal, the pleasure derived from transcendental Brahman is like a drop of ocean compared to the ocean of bliss one receives by dealing with Krishna. In any mellows, in any rasa. Prabodhanand Saraswati Thakur therefore says that Kavalya, the Brahman pleasure, is undoubtedly very great and is appreciated by many philosophers. But to a devotee who has understood how to derive pleasure from exchanging devotion service with the Lord, this unlimited Brahman appears to be hellish. One should try, therefore, to transcend even the Brahman pleasure in order to approach the position of dealing with Krishna face to face. As the mind is the center of all the activities of the senses, Krishna is called the master of the senses, Rishikesha. The process is to fix the mind on Rishikesha or Krishna, as Maharaj Amrish did, Savai Manaha Krishna Padara Vindayo. Bhakti is a basic principle of all processes. Without bhakti, neither Jnana Yoga nor Ashtanga Yoga can be successful. And unless one approaches Krishna, the principles of self-realization have no ultimate destination. So everything culminates in bhakti. And bhakti culminates, of course, we cannot achieve that, but bhakti culminates the position of Srimati Radharani. For bhakti, for Krishna, the relationship with Krishna, it's also said, one of the poets have said that, oh, people of Delhi, you want to go take a trip, go anywhere, but don't go on the road that goes towards Agra from Delhi. And if you go on that road towards Agra from Delhi, just keep going. Don't take the left turn at Chatikara towards Vrindavan. And even if you have taken the turn towards at Chatikara towards Vrindavan, go anywhere in Vrindavan, but don't go to the banks of Yamuna. And if you have gone on the banks of Yamuna, go anywhere, just take the boat ride in Yamuna, but do not, for Krishna's sake, do not go to Keshi Ghat. And if you have gone to Keshi Ghat, just go do your worship of the Yamuna ji and do other worships, but do not, for heaven's sake, do not look at this bluish, blackish boy standing in threefold bending forms and playing on his flute. Do not listen to his flute, because if you do listen to his flute, do look at Krishna, you will never come back to Delhi. You will forget everything else. So that's how Krishna is. He attracts everybody. So that pleasure one receives by serving Krishna, by looking at Krishna, by being with Krishna, by chanting Krishna's name, by reading about Krishna. Nothing can come close to that. And that hankering keeps on increasing no matter what we do, how much we do. Because the spiritual world is unlimited. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So Hari is Ananta, his services are Ananta, the pleasure by serving him is also Ananta. And that is why he needs unlimited devotees, unlimited servants, Ananta servants to serve him. And also, I've read somewhere, it's also said that every single jiva in all the universes, every single jiva can serve Krishna in his or her unique way that nobody else can copy. He is unlimited, and his devotees, servants are unlimited. And every body gives him a unique pleasure that nobody else can give. It's mind-boggling. It's completely inconceivable. How is it possible that we only talk about 5 different rasas, primary rasas, and if we study nectar of devotion, it talks about 7 secondary rasas. That's it. But again, every rasa, primary or secondary, can have unlimited, infinite variations, infinite permutations and combinations, because spiritual world is unlimited. Krishna is unlimited. His love is unlimited. His potencies are unlimited. His dealings are unlimited. His relationships are unlimited. So good luck understanding it and explaining it to some Mayavadi. Text 34 to 36. Kriyaya kritu bhirdanes tapaswadhyaya marshane atmendriya jayanapi sanyasin cha karmana yogen vividhangena bhakti yogena chevahi dharmeno bhaya chinnena ya pravritti nivrittima atma tattva bodhena vairagyena drinena cha iyate bhagwane bhi saguno nirguna swadrik. By performing fruitive activities and sacrifices, by distributing charity, by performing austerities, by studying various literatures, by conducting philosophical research, by controlling the mind, by subduing the senses, by accepting the renounced order of life, and by performing the prescribed duties of one's social order, by performing the different divisions of yoga practice, by performing devotional service, and by exhibiting the process of devotional service, containing the symptoms of both attachment and detachment, by understanding the science of self-realization, and by developing a strong sense of detachment. One who is expert in understanding the different processes of self-realization realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead as is represented in the material world as well as in transcendence. As it is stated in the previous verse, one has to follow the principles of the scriptures. There are different prescribed duties for persons in the different social and spiritual orders. Here it is stated that performance of fruitive activities and sacrifices and distribution of charity are activities meant for persons who are in the household or order of society. There are 4 orders of social system: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. For the grihasthas or householders, performance of sacrifices, distribution of charity, and action according to prescribed duties are especially recommended. Similarly, austerity, study of Vedic literature, and philosophical research are meant for the vanaprasthas or retired persons. Study of Vedic literature from the bona fide spiritual master is meant for the brahmachari or student. Atmendriya jaya, control of the mind and taming of the senses, is meant for persons in the renounced order of life. All these different activities are prescribed for different persons so that they may be elevated to the platform of self-realization, and from there to Krishna consciousness or devotional service. So different duties or different expectations are from 4 different orders of social system and the spiritual orders, like brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, and brahman, kshatriya, vaishya, and shudra. So this basically all these are for purification of the person, purification of his consciousness, and to ultimately come to the level of self-realization and then to Krishna consciousness or devotional service. The words bhakti yogena chavahi mean that whatever is to be performed as described in verse 34, whether yoga or sacrifice or fruitive activity or study of Vedic literature or philosophical research or acceptance of the renounced order of life, is to be executed in bhakti yoga. The word chavahi, according to Sanskrit grammar, indicate that one must perform all these activities mixed with devotional service. Otherwise, such activities will not produce any fruit or any desired fruit. So bhakti has to be there, otherwise everything becomes very dry. Any prescribed activity must be performed for the sake of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yat karosi yadashnasi. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, whatever austerities you undergo, and whatever charities you give, the result should be given to the Supreme Lord. The word eva is added, indicating that one must execute activities in such a way. And there's another shloka that appears towards the beginning of Bhagavatam. It says, Shrama eva hi kevalam. If everything we have done, dharma, everything that we have followed, whatever prescribed dharma for varnashram system, if it is not done to please Krishna, then it is shram eva hi kevalam. Shram means useless wastage of labor. And in that shloka, the beautiful part is when Shukdev Goswami says, Shram eva hi kevalam. Eva means certainly, he means certainly, kevalam means certainly or only. Means he put three words to boldly say that it's only useless labor if it does not please Krishna. So, well, it's a long purport. Maybe we can cover it tomorrow. Different parts Prabhupada has explained, mentioned in the different shlokas, these three shlokas. So we can cover it tomorrow. If then anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you touch base about attraction of Krishna. Just sharing one experience.
Please do so.
Well, before visiting Vrindavan, I think I visited Vrindavan at the age of 42. When I was 42, I went with you. Before that, every year I used to go to Vaishno Devi, at least twice or thrice a year.
Oh.
That was my passion, kind of a thing. And without any planning and all, whenever mood comes, okay, pick up a bag and Vaishno Devi. But so much of dedication was there. And the day when we visited Vrindavan, from 22nd till today, 13 years, it's every month Vrindavan. I mean, so much of attraction, yes. Never visited Vaishno Devi. Yeah. A lot of stories are there visiting to Vaishno Devi, but yes, what you said is correct. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe it was the mercy of Vaishno Devi, she brought you finally to Krishna.
Maybe something is there, Prabhuji. बिल्कुल.
Oh yeah, all the demigods. This is what they try to do.
Yeah, definitely something is there. Yeah. वो रास्ते अपने आप बनते चले जाते हैं.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. In fact, yesterday you touched base about Mayavadi philosophy and all. So I was also thinking that, I mean, before coming to Delhi, or I mean, touching base with ISKCON, we were from a small town kind of a thing, and a small town is all Sanatan Dharma is there. We don't even understand such definition. What is Golok and all, because nobody teaches there. Temples are there. We go to temple. Whatever parents are doing Sanatan Dharma, we follow that. But that itself has a lot of power. Even in
Oh
our
yeah.
town,
Hmm.
there is no ISKCON there. There's no ISKCON concept is there. But there's a lot of devotion is there. A lot of devotion. I've not seen in Delhi. Entire city is so much of devo uh, devotion is there. My mother used to have Sundarkand every day, and within half an hour, Sundarkand is over. Every
Hmm.
chopai was, the she used to read Bhagwatam. I think thrice or four times she said she has completed it. So that was an encouragement. I got it from her. So if you travel from Delhi to Haridwar, you will find a lot of Radha Swami satsangas there.
Hmm.
Very few ISKCON are there, right? And
Yeah.
what is the philosophy of a Radha Swami? They have a land acquired from a municipality, and they design certain structure which is uniform across India, and they start preaching it. And local people, the villagers or the small town people, their soul needs to listen for some spiritual thing, and they find this is a good place. You know, so for them it become a very good thing. This institution is telling lot of good thing. So whether this is whatever philosophy you say, but for them, it I mean, it's everything. It's everything
Yeah.
for them. Maybe a
Yeah.
Nirakari, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that Radha Swami thing, every year there is a satsang happen in
Yes.
Mehrauli, near Mehrauli,
Okay.
and the satsang is planned every January. They planned it that which date is going to happen. It's 3 days satsang, and 30 lakhs, minimum 20 to 30 lakhs people attend that. The Guru Maharaj
Yeah.
is coming.
Yep.
Now this 30 lakhs people are attending it. There is no security guard. There is no police. Everything they manage, and they call as a sevadar.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there is a devotion into the public. Maybe a right channel is not available to them or whatever, but devotion is available. We can call them as a Mayavadi. We can call them as the Ringkari. But I mean, what you say, devotion is there, and people are following blindly there. That's what I
Oh
just
yeah.
want to say.
Oh yeah. I have been to Bias also.
Yeah,
Wonderful management by the volunteers, no outside person, by the volunteers only. Wonderful management. And every place, the whole place is very spick and span, clean. And the big hall is there where the Guruji comes and gives his lecture. That hall, I think, can accommodate like 1 lakh people, maybe more. I'm not sure right now. Huge hall, and no extra sound by anybody when the Guruji is speaking.
correct.
Wonderful arrangement. I mean, as you said, devotion is there in India. It just, uh, first of all, whatever the consciousness is, Krishna directs him to that kind of guru as Paramatma. And secondly, I think ISKCON has not exploited this properly.
Yeah, maybe. You can say.
ISKCON is still growing, I understand, but we got to have more preaching, more preaching, that we approach everybody. So well, it will take time, but that's okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Rajiv Prabhuji,
Ji Prabhuji.
5 minutes of, this small, so nice things. It recalls, I mean, when he told about the small town, and we know a little bit about, when parents are doing Sundarkand, he mentioned that his mom was doing Sundarkand, and all this, it really, refreshes the old days of, like, even my parents, we come from Ayodhya, like morning, Ramcharitmanas, half an hour, and all those things happen. So thank you so much, Rajiv Prabhuji, and like being like a child for you, it's like really inspiring for me. And we all are now attached to ISKCON, and like listening some really nectar words from Prabhuji and about Krishna. I really feel very grateful about it. I think before attachment with Krishna, it was nowhere. Like Prabhuji says about demigods. Yes, definitely. To some extent, like when you're looking for some wishes to get fulfilled, that's fine. But then, uh, just talk about one more thing. Just chanting the malas. Just when I keep that in hand and start, it really gives me peace. So that's the real experience, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Rajiv Prabhuji, and thank you so much, Vidya
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So,
And Prabhuji,
yeah, go
Prabhuji,
ahead.
sorry to interrupt. Rajiv Prabhuji mentioned about Sundarkand. His mother has done that in 30 minutes,
Yeah, no, not 20, but yeah,
and
30
it
minutes
takes
was
around 1 hour.
normal.
So I want to know how to.
30, no, no. Now she's no more, and she did it for, I think, more
It,
than 10
it, it
years or
takes
15 years. 15 years continuously she did that every day evening. She used to sit 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and complete within half an hour.
hmm. Then लगता है मुझे प्रभु जी थोड़ा मुझे I have to increase my pace, जैसे मैं पढ़ता हूँ सैटरडे के दिन तो मेरे को करना पड़ेगा थोड़ा I have to.
I think if you memorize it, you can do it faster.
Yeah, probably is that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Probably those 60 dohas, it takes around 1 hour. For me, I've seen every Saturday when I do it, it's 60 dohas, 1 hour. But I have to increase that.
You just keep
If
on
I can
chanting,
increase
it will
it.
increase.
Yeah.
You'll be, don't worry.
Yeah,
There's no competition here.
correct.
Chanting, chanting to Prabhuji sometimes 4 rounds and 8 rounds. What खराब लगता है,
No,
but
no, no, I'm saying there is no competition that you have to do it in half an hour, the whole Sundarkand.
अच्छा अच्छा.
You can chant
हाँ.
the Sundarkand verses at the speed as you like. You have to relish it. That's all my point is. Just enjoy it.
नहीं सही तो. देखिए again I was coming to materialistic world by doing some competition by just saying bringing that pace, but then again thank you Prabhuji once again to
Yeah,
put me back
there
in
is
that.
no competition with anybody.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful and safe day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Thank you
Prabhupada.
so
Hare
much,
Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Jai
for
Shri
the lovely
Prabhupada.
class.